Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. Let me test again.
Hello. Okay. Okay. Let me test again.
Okay, I think I'm
Hello.
good.
Okay. Okay. Let me test again.
Okay. All right. I should be fine. Um, what's going on, everybody? We 186. Back again with another video. I guess live stream if you want to be technical. Um. Yeah. Like I've been away. Just trying to. Got a lot of life stuff going on. Most of it not good. But I gotta keep. I gotta keep soldiering on. Regarding the podcast, Steve, he's got some stuff that he's dealing with. So, um, you know, right whenever his situation gets set up, gets situated, then we'll start the podcast again. It just depends on when we can get it done. So, like I said, I know there's people in our Discord. Shout out to the Discord, Overrated Podcast. If you guys want to join us, I know a lot of you guys are want us to do a podcast. It's just gonna take time. I can't tell you when it's gonna happen again, but we should be hopefully in the near future we'll be back and podcasting like we were before. Like I said, I do apologize. Like I said, life just got in the way for him, and then life definitely kicking me in the ass right now. So I gotta make sure I get everything. Gotta make sure I get everything back to normal, cause yeah, man, it's a struggle out here. Speaking of struggle, I guess we can might as well talk about it. Since I've been trying to figure out a way to put content out. Because I'm not right as of right now. I'm not using Streamyard right now. Um, just it right now is just money's tight right now, so I gotta save money. So and Streamyard, it's a great. I mean, it's a great tool to stream, but it costs money, and I gotta save it right now. Actually, hold on. I totally forgot to share this. Hold on. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll let Pablo Lopez. I'll let Pablo Lopez pitch a couple times. FYI, if you guys wondering, yes, I am playing MLB The Show 2024. There's been pretty much my go-to sports game every year. I love baseball, even though the Marlins are garbage. Um, but but yeah. So it's my main game. So let me just share this out. Excuse me. Let me just share this out real quick. All right, so so I shared it on the Discord, like I said, overrated podcast. If you guys want to join, let me put it in sports. Give me a second. And I'll do it in show off as well. And I guess I'll share this on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck it's called. I know the big WB shows is on right now, so I know most people I follow are watching that. But we'll see how this goes. All right. Yeah. Right. So yeah. So let's talk about it because there is one other sports topic that I do want to talk about, but I'll talk about it on a later date. I'll wait till there is a resolution to that situation involving another one of my favorite teams, the Miami Heat. you got if you follow sports, you kind of know who I'm talking about, and I do want to I'll address that when I get a chance. But I do want to address this because this just happened. So yesterday, Dolphins they lost to the Jets. I only watched the first half. Once it was clear that the Broncos was going to beat the Chiefs, the Chiefs pretty much played nobody. So so yeah. So once that was the once that game was pretty much done, and that game was pretty much finished early. I knew we weren't making the playoffs, so it was kind of useless. It was kind of pointless to watch the rest of the game, and they lost. It is what it is. Like I don't like losing to the Jets, but ultimately the game meant nothing, so it didn't even matter. So the Dolphins end the season 8-9. After last year, they finished 13-4. No, they finished 12-5. Did it? Yeah, 12-5, right? Yeah. Or they either finished 12-5 or 11-6. I don't remember, but made the playoffs. Lost to the Chiefs. It was a disappointing end to an otherwise fun year. The most fun year we've had in a while. But the ending of that season, and I would say pretty much everything going on this year, pretty much with the same theme. A team that ultimately is just soft. A team that when the going gets tough, they can't handle it. Right? They can be bad teams, right? They can obviously beat bad teams. Right? But when it comes to good teams, like real elite teams, they fold. Right? And the funny thing is that realistically, the only team that you really should be losing to are teams that are the best teams, right? You should always beat teams that you're better than. And for the most part, I feel like the Dolphins have done that the last couple years. The problem is not only losing to the good teams, it's the performances against the good teams, right? Like you get your brains beaten by Buffalo week 2. You're non-competitive against Green Bay. Um, Ironically enough, they beat the Rams, which are their playoff team. I thought we beat the Rams pretty convincingly, but the trend has been the same. They have a hard time beating the good teams, and that's frustrating. That is frustrating, and not just losing; it's not being competitive. And obviously, the cold narrative comes into play. You can't beat teams in the cold. Um, you know, the running game that was so successful last year was non-existent. Hold on. Give me one second. Give me one second. Let me reply to Randy real quick. Real quick. Okay. Yeah. So you pretty much had a situation where they pretty much you know the issues last year carried on to this year. Beautiful. Carried over. It carried over to this year, and doesn't help that your starting quarterback, after making some noise in the offseason with the stuff he said about Flores and stuff like that, getting the contract that he missed 6 games basically. He missed a third of the season, and you need him to play. You can't miss a third of the season. And I get it. And look, Steve always annoys me with this shit. But the one thing that I can say that is true that you need it's obvious, it's clear now that this team needs Tua. Now there has to come to a point where you can't be dependent on one player. It has to get to a point where you can't be dependent on Tua to be there, so that when he's not there, everything just falls apart. And that's pretty much what happened this year. Now I'll give Tyler Huntley credit. For he led us to 2 wins while Tua was gone, and I give him props for that. But he's at the end of the day, he's a backup. You know what I mean? He's just a guy. You need your top quarterback in there, and it's frustrating when he's not there because when he's not there, the offense don't do shit. You know what I mean? And again, I'm going to wait till later on to address the main reason why I'm making the video because like so many times during the podcast and even online, I always tell people when everyone was talking about this player being MVP of this team, I always said yes, he may be the best player, but he's not the most important player on the team. The most important player on the team is Tua Tagovailoa, and that was proven this year. Doesn't mean he's the best player. I've always said that he's not the best player, but he's the most important, and this year proved that. But even with all that, the problem with the team is not the quarterback. It's not the running back, even though we didn't run the ball well. But it's not their fault. Our O line stinks. They were super dependent on guys like Deron Armstead, who was falling apart. And you have guys like Liam Eichenberg, who stinks, and the O line in general just garbage. And our GM Chris Greer, who should be fired today, he's not going to because I guess Stephen Ross said that they're not going anywhere, and a part of me understands what he's doing. He doesn't want to fire one and not the other, and so you don't want that. If you're going to make a clean slate, you want to make it clean. If you want to fire one person, the GM, more than likely you're gonna have to fire the coach unless extenuating circumstances are there. But make no mistake about it. This is the last year for Chris Greer, and he's been there for like 20 years. But it should be his last year if this team fails next year. And truth be told, it should be the last year for Mike McDaniel also. And while I think Mike McDaniel is best swing, even though I have no issue with Mike McDaniel as a coach, actually I do. I ain't gonna lie, I do have an issue with him as a coach, right? I don't like some of his decision making. I don't like some of his play calling. I think it's suspect, and I was willing to forgive it because I know that he's a young head coach, right? He his first, and we see how it is when it comes to coaches in bad organizations where you give this guy you give Gerard Mayo dog shit and he gets fired after 1 year, Well, I ain't gonna get into that. But this is the last year for Mike McDaniel if they don't make the playoffs. This has to be it. Because this team fell short of expectations heavy. I get injuries are a part of it, but injuries are a part of football. That's what I keep saying. Injuries are a part of football. Right? You're going to deal with it throughout the year. And the goal fucking stupid swing. The goal is to overcome it. We know what happened last year with the defense last year, right? They lost both their rush ends. They had tons of injuries. But you know what they did against the Chiefs? They competed. They played well enough against that team to at least have a better result. There's the offense that didn't show up that day. Right? And I thought the defense by and large played well. You know what I mean? Like I thought they played well. All things considered. To me, the problem isn't it's not really about like a player or anything like that. What it is a mentality that regardless of what's going on, we will do our best to fight. We will do our best to try to win the game. And there are too many times this year when the going gets tough, this team folds. and I don't know if that's a coaching thing. It definitely is a mentality thing. I don't know who I don't know who's exactly responsible for that, but that mentality's got to change. I don't mind. I hear always a lot of people say, "Oh well, they're the type of team that they're too flashy or whatever." And I mean, whatever it is, what it is. But like every team should be able when it comes to trying to get a yard, every team should be able to have one or two plays where you can get a yard. And every fucking time I watch this team on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, they're doing these jet sweeps. They're doing these fucking 5 yard passes, 5 yard backward passes, where it's like, bro, like what are we doing here? It's a weak ass mentality that this team possesses, and to me, honestly, part of it is the coaching. I do think part of it is the coaching, but ultimately, it's a team thing. This team is mentally weak. This team is weak, and it came. It was kind of true last year, near the end of last year, and it was pretty much true throughout the entire year. It's not like people can blame this on Tua all they want. This is a mentality thing. This is an absolute mentality thing. Because when Tua's out there, the offense was fine. It didn't have the explosive plays that it did last year. And I do think part of that is coaching. But I also think that but when he was out there, yeah, they played well enough to win a lot of the games. The Arizona game especially, they played well enough to win that game, and the defense failed them. They went up to Buffalo in the second game, and I thought he played well. I thought Tua played well. I thought the offense played well. I thought the defense played well. But it just but that's what happens when you play against a team who no matter what's going on, no matter who's there, who's not there. Obviously, having Josh Allen there is a big deal. He's probably going to win MVP this year. But they, and this is a team that lost Stephon Diggs, and I was hoping, praying that would have been enough to make Josh Allen not look so good, but he played. I would argue he had his best season without Stephon Diggs, and that comment leads me to the real reason why I'm making the video. And the person I'm going to call out is Tyreek Hill. Now, like I said, beautiful. I like Tyreek Hill as a baseball player. I mean, my bad, as a football player. When he's on his game, he's one of the best wide receivers in the world. I believe that. But the one thing that I said last year to Steve all the time, I told Steve this. Right? Let me see. Am I getting any comments? I don't see anything on the. I don't see my chat up. I don't know if I'm. Let me turn the volume down here. Hold on, give me a second. Give me 1 second. Okay. I'm just trying to see if I have any comments. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. To me, I'm a big fan of Tyreek Hill. I really am. But I always told Steve this. I told Steve this all the time. Like, as great as Tyreek Hill is, and this was when he was trying to get to 2,000 yards and all the other stuff, right? And people were making the argument that Tyreek Hill should be the MVP over Tua, and I said, no, it don't make no sense. And the reason why it don't make no sense is because at one he is gonna have to. Who's giving him the ball? Who's the one trying to get him all those yards? It was Tua. It was Tua Tagovailoa. He's the one that got him the ball. So, and as great as Tyreek Hill is, and I'm not even saying he didn't even deserve any type of he didn't deserve any type of recognition for MVP. But at the end of the day, if you're going to give the MVP to one person, you give it to Tua. Why? Because he's the reason why Tyreek Hill's getting the ball. And you notice this year, Tyreek Hill, numbers based on normal standards isn't. I don't think it's terrible, but they pale in comparison to what he did the first 2 years, right? And he had the whole incident with the police earlier this year. Um, which FYI, I was not on his side, by the way. I can make a case that the police officers acted, irrationally, but I wasn't on his side. I thought he acted like a baby. To be fair, and honestly, I'll give him an out because it was after the game, and emotions are high. But he acted like a baby in this game too. He did. Again, I don't know the story behind why he didn't play the second half. Frankly, it didn't even matter because they weren't making the playoffs anyway. But his comments at the end of the game about leaving and doing what's best for his family and all the other crap. Here's my thing. That mentality from one of your captains, by the way, he's one of your captains. That mentality is why he can't come back. I don't know if they're gonna trade him or whatever, but that's why that mentality is why he can't come back. This is one of your captains speaking. And yes, this is probably the first year that he's not making the playoffs, right? I get it's disappointing. But he's gonna fold up shop like that after a disappointing season? Get him the fuck out of here. Because the thing that I've always had an issue with this team is that when the going gets tough, they fold. And that's your captain folding. So why should he be back? Why should he be back? Like if Josh Allen can prove that he doesn't need I wouldn't say like a top flight, right? Obviously you need good players around you. But if Josh Allen can prove that he can win without Stephon Diggs, who even when he was getting the ball was bitching to Josh Allen, like Tua can do the same thing. I do believe that he can do the same thing without Tyreek Hill. But you don't need players like that on your team. Players like that is the reason why you get the reputation you have for being soft. Soft mentality and leads to poor results, and that's what he showed, at the end of the game, and that's what the team has shown throughout the last 2 years when things don't go their way, when they're not playing a bad team, when they're when things are not ideal, this team folds. And I look at teams like the Detroit Lions, all the injuries they have on defense, they still go out there and win games. You know what I mean? Like let me see if I can think of any. Like Buffalo, they win games, right? Whatever injuries that they deal with, they win games, right? And the funny thing is that like when in this league you're gonna deal with adversity, and this team cannot handle adversity. They can't. And you're telling me that guy who would fold up shop like that because things didn't go his way one year? Why would he be on? Why should he be on the team? I get he's a phenomenal player. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? And I do think that he was hampered by injury this year. But he trust me, he had some drops. He had some big time drops this year. With Tua and without Tua, he had drops. Maybe it could be the wrist injury, I don't know. But he didn't play up to his standard. So for him to do that, that's a lucky hit. For him to say that, and then sit there, perform the way that he performed, and then be like, "Oh, I'm out." Yeah, man, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. Get off my team. You know what I mean? I'm not normally like that, but I'm no, man. That display yesterday is why the Dolphins went backwards this year. That mentality is why they were 8-9. That mentality is why, you know, Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel's jobs are on the line next year. It's on the line, and I would probably say Tua's as well. You know what I mean? Because if a new GM is gonna come in and he sees that Tua, you know, can't stay healthy, or he you know regresses this year, then he's probably gonna pull the plug. We've seen it. We've seen it with other teams around the league. Like Carolina, they asked backwards their way back into the Bryce Young sweepstakes. Excuse me. You know, because it's funny when you give a quarterback time to develop. Yeah, he can be pretty good if you give him time to develop. And part of the reason why I think they gave up on him was because one, obviously he was struggling, but two, because they saw what C.J. Stroud was doing, and they were like, oh well, why isn't he doing that? The same bullshit that you hear with Tua and Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? Like, cause last time I checked, Justin Herbert has the same amount of playoff win that Tua has. You know, which is none. You know what I mean? But even with that, their team this year with the new coach, 11-6, 11-6, and Herbert's been fine, but he's not putting up like these MVP level numbers. No, but he's doing fine. He's doing what it takes for them to win games. You know what I'm saying? And I know that Tua can do that too. We've seen him do it. The only thing that he needs to do is just take care of himself, and that starts one with the O line. Obviously, we need a new O line, and two is just taking better care of yourself when it comes to the injuries. Like I do think that if Tua was healthy this year, we're in the playoffs easy. Okay, if you look at the 6 games that he didn't play, we're in all those games. We are in all those games. Now I'm not saying we win all of them, but we're definitely in all those games that he missed. But the problem is that he has to be there. He has to be available. But like I said before I go, this is not a one player issue. This is a team mentality issue. This is a situation where when you have a team that is dealing with adversity, they have to be able to overcome it. And if you can't overcome that, then you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win big games. You know what I mean? If you're gonna sit there and be like, "Oh well, Tua's not playing, so yada yada yada," right? You can't. Nothing you can do about it. Like I don't want to hear that, man. I see teams around the league with injuries out the ass, and some teams can't overcome it. But the reason why they can't overcome it is because they don't have the talent. Let's be real. This Dolphins team has the talent. Now I think there's some talent out there that aren't as good, and our fucking GM, made a mistake on a couple things, and that's why I want him fired. But that's not gonna happen. But ultimately, I just think that with Tyreek when if it was up to me, I'm not bringing back Tyreek Hill. I'm not bringing him back. I'm not. If he wants, and then I see he's trolling online today and all the other bullshit. Like I don't have time for that. I didn't have time for it when he was winning. I didn't give a shit about it when they were winning and he was awesome. I damn sure don't care about it now. So like I said, man, like that mentality, that the weakness that he showed last night after the game I can't have that on my team anymore. Now if he come back, it is what it is. I'm not gonna like boycott the team or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, I can't. This team, in order for this team to take the next step, they're gonna have to get rid of some players who are soft, and there needs to be a mentality change in that locker room. And Tyreek Hill being one of your leaders and acting the way he did yesterday, no, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I don't want that in my locker room. Cause when the going gets tough, they fold. Absolutely not. Don't want that in my locker room. But we'll see, man. Like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen next year. I know, I'm sure Tua's gonna be back. He's just in his first year of his new contract. I don't know about Tyreek because he's in. I know he had his contract restructured. Obviously, Waddle's gonna be back, and I expect this team beautiful. I expect this team to be better next year. But if they keep the same mentality that they've had the last 2 years, they ain't gonna go nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. Because at the end of the day, you need teams, you need players who when adversity hits, they need to step up. They need to step up and play the and play to win. Like I said, you're not gonna win every game. Why not? We not gonna talk about your trash batting average? What's wrong with my batting average? Like Rudolph, you do know that if you hit the ball 3 times out of 10, you're a Hall of Famer, right? Baseball is a game of failure. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what the game is, right? And I had a bad swing right there, but the baseball is a game of failure. So yeah, you see me failing. You know what I mean? Because for one, the pitcher is really good. Former Florida Marlin, former Miami Marlin, Pablo Lopez, he's good. You know what I mean? So nigga, cut me some slack. cut me a break. But yeah, man. Like I pretty much said what I needed to say about the Dolphins this year. Like I said, I wasn't upset about the loss yesterday. Frankly, it didn't even matter at the end of the day. It did not matter. You know what I mean? Like, let me see, that one should be out. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't matter at the end of the day. I'm just, with the whole Tyreek Hill thing, that shit annoyed me. It annoyed me because, like, that's your captain. And all the fears that I had regarding this team came to fruition, right? Because the game that broke me personally was the Green Bay game. Not that they lost, is that they got their ass kicked. Tua stunk in that game, but they got their ass kicked. Both sides of the ball played like garbage. They weren't in that game, and that was an important game too. That was a game where if they win the game, they're in the playoffs pretty much. If you take that loss, turn it into a win, they're in the playoffs. And you have Tua saying, "Oh, kill some narratives and all the other bullshit." Like they didn't kill nothing. They proved everybody who had their doubts about the team correct. And same thing with me. I called like on Discord. I called them a front running team because that's what they are. When the going is good, they're amazing. But once they face a team that that is on their level or above, they won't reach that level. They'll fold. And then to see your supposed best player in on the team folding and talking about wanting to leave and all the other bullshit with the shitty year that he had in comparative to his previous years, yeah, it annoyed me. It annoyed me. A lot of little things about certain athletes annoy me when they when you have guys who like to troll online and always got jokes. I can tolerate it if you're successful on the field. If you're successful on the field, I can tolerate it all day. But if you're not pulling your weight and then you want to pull like bullshit, like pretty much like what Jimmy Butler's doing, I don't have no patience for that. I really don't. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Let me hit one more home run, and then I'll be out. Yeah, let me hit one more home run, and then I'll be out. So yeah, so hopefully I want to hit like a no doubter too. I want to hit like an animation home run. So yeah, man. Like I'll talk about the Jimmy Butler stuff at some point. I will do more of these videos. Like I said, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with StreamYard. Obviously, when the podcast comes back, we will use StreamYard. I downloaded OBS today and it already crashed on me, so that's great. I need a new computer. I still need a new computer, but like I said, I gotta get everything in my life back in order first. Yeah, man, it's been a shitty year to be honest with you, but yeah, man, you gotta soldier on through, man. That's really all you can do. Yeah, I want to get at least one more. Wow, I want to get at least one more home run. No doubter, preferably. Then then I'll be out. So yeah, this was just trying to get another one here. We got to throw the ball in the zone, at least. Um, let me see. Ooh, beautiful. Is that out? Nah. Nah. I wonder how deep is it to center field? Yeah, this is one of the older ballparks that they have. Sportsman Park is one of the classic stadiums that they have in the game. Yeah, I wonder how deep is center. Oof, what a bad swing. Yep, inside. Yeah, so I'll probably do more of these. Play a game and then and talk to you guys, you know, just about stuff. I do wonder when I'm gonna make the Jimmy Butler video because, like I said, like I didn't realize how much of his avatar I have all over. I have his avatar on my Twitter. I have it on I think I have it on one other social media site, and then I also have it as my avatar as my wallpaper for my on my computer. So I have a lot of Jimmy Butler stuff, but the stuff going on with him and the Heat, ah man, just over that shit, man. And I actually didn't even think that they were gonna be. I really didn't think that he were gonna be any good this year. Ooh, I just missed that one. Yeah, very early. Yeah, I didn't think I did because obviously we all know. I mean, if you're a Heat fan, basketball fan, you kind of know how Jimmy Butler rolls. So that's a great swing. Yeah, you kind of know how he rolls. So like, this isn't really a surprise, but it is frustrating to see it happen now. And then there's other stuff about the team that's frustrating me as well. So like I said, when I get a chance, I'll talk about it. That's a double. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Whenever I get time. Whenever I get a chance, I'll talk about it. Yeah, because I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for one more home run. I think Finns need management that'll let their ingredients simmer. Yeah, I wanted them to fire Chris Greer because I thought he did a shitty job this year. I thought he did a bad job this year. That's a bad swing too. But like it's just because the one thing that they've been doing that they've done over the years is they'll fire either the coach but keep the GM or vice versa. And that to me, what happened with the Broncos was a phenomenon. Are you talking about them making the playoffs? Yeah, they made the playoffs. Props to them. Props to them. Yeah, that one was late. Late swing. Yeah, props to them. Bo Nix. Like I said, he's a young quarterback, but he's good. That one is gone. Let me do one more home run and then I'll be out. Yeah, but gotta give him props. I mean, like, and I'm not mad at the Chiefs either. Like the Chiefs, their goal is not to win, do us a favor. They already had the number one seed locked. I'm referring to Tebow and Manning. Oh yeah. Yeah, and Manning was supposed to come down here. Manning was supposed to come down here, but because of the Dolphins situation, he decided to go to the Broncos. And the Tebow stuff, I mean, he got he was a bad quarterback that got lucky. That's pretty much what he was, and he was propped up by that bum, Skip Bayless, who is in the process of getting sued. Yeah, that situation's wild. That situation's wild, but yeah, but props to the Broncos on making the playoffs. And like I said, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the Chiefs. Like they have more important things to do. That's a home run too. Oh wow. Yeah, I got that one good too. Yeah, let me do one more. I want to do like a no doubter. Yeah, like I said, I have no problem with what the Chiefs did. Like they have much more important thing to deal with. They have so if they want to rest Mahomes, I know he's been gimpy the last couple games. He didn't have to play. He didn't have to play their starters. Like they, I don't have a problem with what they did. Ultimately, it was just a season that was that one should be it. Yeah, that one should be it. So I'll end it. I'll end it. Let me finish my last statement, and then I'll end it. But yeah, like ultimately, this season was just hampered by injuries the injury to Tua and bad management. But like I said, they're gonna run it back. This is it. This is it. This is next year is it. Like these guys gotta fucking get the job done. If not, then all of them should get fired. You know what I mean? All of them should get fired. So, all right, man. This will be 186. I'm out. Let me just do a couple more swings and then I'll be out for good. So, on that note, I'll see you guys later. All right, so that's a double or an out. It could have been an out too. Let me do it. Let me do one more home run. Oosh. All right, inside. That one should be out. Nope. I'm using the power swing too. Yeah. Curveball low. Yeah, no doubt or not, one more home run and I'm out. That's a single. Ooh, damn, I just missed that one. Oh, I just missed that one too. And yeah, if I had it just in time, it would have been out. Yeah. Let me go back to normal swing. I just missed. Yeah, early. Yeah. I will hit another home run, I promise. Yeah, Yeah, good swing. Just late, very late, but a good swing. Mm. Ah, I just missed that one. Late. And I was late on purpose. Yeah. Yeah. You got jammed. Probably would have been a single anyway. Oh man. If I just waited a little bit, if I just waited a little bit more, that would have been gone. Oh, that was a decent swing. That would have been out though. That was a good swing though. Decent swing. Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, that was a good swing. Just a little bit late. Oh, that one is. Please tell me that's gone. No, I didn't get all of it. I didn't get all of it. If it was just a little bit more in the middle, I would have gotten it. Oof. Right. That was a bad swing. This is double play ball. Yeah. Busted me inside. That's gone. That should be out. Yep. All right. All right, guys. Have a good night.